Welcome to Labatt Buffalo Main Event. Bob Gaughan along with Brad Ryder. And coming up on today's show, Brad and I will discuss football with Chris Brown from BuffaloBills.com. We'll talk about the NCAA basketball tournament. But Brad, we begin with the Buffalo Sabres. If the Sabres were a car, the gas light would be on E, the check engine light would be on, the oil light would be on, and they are limping to a playoff spot. Brad, do you think they have enough left in the gas tank to make it to the playoffs?
Two things I like about the situation. One, all the other cars in this race, same problem. They've been running for almost 500 miles or almost 82 games, and they've got the same, they've got low air in the tires. That same issues are being dealt with. I like the guy that's behind the wheel of this one, and that's Lindy Ruff. They're same thing every week that I wind up saying. If they get good goaltending out of Ryan Miller, which they do on most nights, he hasn't been great this year, but he's a good goaltender for this season. I like where they stand, and I also like the attitude. They're hopefully getting some guys back in the lineup. Nathan Page finally on his way back, and I heard him over the weekend say, we just have to win our games. If we win all our games, we're in the playoffs, which is true at this point. They control their own destiny. I like to be in that spot. I also like that one of the teams they're chasing is a Boston Bruins team that's been reeling, and they get to play 2 times. There's a reasonable chance this whole thing comes down to the final game of the regular season against the Boston Bruins, and I'll take my chances in that spot.
I think, first of all, Ryan Miller, and I don't know if he's getting tired because he's obviously going to break the record for the amount of games, but I don't look at him now, after this year, as an elite goaltender. I look at him as a good goaltender, but not someone that I'm going to put in top 5 or top 6. He's kind of disappointed me a little bit with the big saves. I'm thinking, boy, was it last year when he was letting in 3 goals a game, but the team was scoring 4 or 5 goals a game? And they're still scoring a lot this year, but it just seems like they're losing all of those games. They're losing a lot of shootouts, and I'm disappointed in the way Ryan Miller's played.
Yeah, the difference in the standings this year really is the shootouts. You take I think they've lost 9 times in the shootout. It might be even more by now. Take 6 or 7 of those points, and we're talking about a team that's comfortably in the playoffs right now and is sort of jockeying for position rather than struggling to get in. But there's not a team amongst that group, and you look at the standings on any given day, and suddenly the Sabres fall to 10th place or tied for 10th place. Just keep looking at the games in hand. Keep looking at the upcoming schedule. They're in a position to control their own destiny and make things happen just by winning hockey games, as long as they've got the right attitude, and I trust that Lindy Ruff gives them the right attitude. I think they're going to wind up in the playoffs.
I'm shocked that they're one of the highest scoring teams in hockey. I mean, I look at that, and again, depending on the day that you look, and I'm wondering, boy, is this team scoring more goals? Does this say something about the NHL? Because I think that they struggle a lot of times, and even recently, struggling on the power play. And when I look at it and saying, boy, they score as many goals as almost anybody else in the league.
I haven't looked at it, but I'm pretty sure that the big reason for this is they have a tendency to just explode at times. They'll go 2 weeks where you're wondering where the offense is, and then they'll hang 8 on Nashville, or they'll go 2 weeks or 4 games and then hang 7 on another opponent. They've got quite a few games in that 6, 7, 8, 9 goal range this year that I think, I won't say artificially inflates the total, but that's where I think the number comes from.
Brad, sticking with the car theme, if the Buffalo Bills were a car, with all the offseason acquisitions, they may be a Cadillac. But with Trent Edwards as their quarterback, and it looks like he's going to be their guy, are they basically throwing the keys to the Cadillac to the 17-year-old kid who just got his license?
Just got his license and crashed a couple times with his permit last year. Meaningful games, cold weather, wind, snow, didn't quite work for Trent Edwards. I liked a lot of what I saw out of him, his development as a rookie quarterback. And I know last year I was pretty harsh on him just because I felt like it's the whole system with developing quarterbacks in the NFL. When do you say we've got to let him learn, and when do you say, all right, we've given him enough time? I don't think Lossman was ever put in the right situation. He wasn't put in at the right time. He wasn't taken out at the right time. He was mishandled his entire career here with Buffalo, and maybe that's to the point where he's broken. So the only option is 17-year-old kid, good luck with the whole thing. Let's hope the running game is the focus of the offense and he can kind of grow into the position, because I don't think he's the leader of the team by any stretch.
I think this offense did struggle last year, and the one thing that disappoints me right now is No acquisitions for the offense. I mean, I'm very happy what they've done. I'm very happy bringing in Stroud. I'm very happy with Kavika Mitchell. And now the talk might be that they might go cornerback. So that's defense, defense, defense. Well, wait a minute. You've got this young quarterback, and so far they've done nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing for the offense this year.
What are you trying to say about Courtney Alexander and Teo Johnson?
Nothing. I mean, less than nothing for the offense this year. And I think that that's one thing I would like for them to do at least sometime soon. Help this kid out. Brad, my bracket is absolutely destroyed. Let's say we just start a new bracket at the Sweet 16 of the NCAA basketball tournament. Who do you like now that the NCAA basketball tournament is in the Sweet 16?
I choose the top left, Bob, and it's the bracket, the East bracket, where all 4 teams, all of the top 4 seeds have gotten through. Carolina went in as the top seed in the entire tournament. I like that team. I also think there's a reasonable shot they get upset by Tennessee. That's if Tennessee doesn't get upset by Louisville and if North Carolina can get by Washington State. I think that group, that region, is where this year's champion comes from.
I'll tell you who I don't like, and that's UCLA, who gets lucky again against a bad Texas A&M team. And I know we've talked about how you should have close games, and it helps, but it doesn't help to have close games against bad teams. And that Texas A&M team is not a very good team, and that guy got fouled at the end, and UCLA skates by again. I'm one of the few people that I think likes Memphis. No one's talking about this team. They've only lost 1 game. And they can't shoot free throws. I mean, they're absolutely horrible at free throw shooting. But I like them, and I think that
I picked Memphis on the show last week. But now you're asking me if we're starting with the Sweet 16.
Starting with the Sweet 16.
I'm heading east.
And the Big East, what a great West Virginia and how they're playing.
Oh, I thought we were about to talk about Georgetown.
Or Georgetown
Okay.
going out with
Go either way.
Stephon Curry and everybody. I mean, everybody in Buffalo loves Stephon Curry. They saw him last year with the tournament. And, how can you not root for Davidson in West Virginia and Western Kentucky, all those? That's what the tournament's all about, right? The little guys stepping up big. Coming up next on Labatt Buffalo Main Event, it is the Shadow Lounge email segment.